It's time for today's travel and cruise industry news. With the latest from travel and cruises around the world, here's your host, Chillie Falls.
Good morning. Welcome to Travel and Cruise Industry News on this. What is today? Today's the 12th day of May. That's what it is. May the 12th. Coming to you live from Sitka, Alaska. Trying to see. I can't tell. No, we're not landed yet. We're on our way into Sitka. How's that? So anyway, today's port is Sitka, Alaska. So today, by the way, folks, is National Nutty Fudge Day. You know, as much as I like brownies, I'm not that big on fudge. It's actually too sweet for me. But anyway, if you like it, go get some to celebrate today. Cruise ship sailing from North American ports on this, the 12th day of May. In Bayonne, you got Adventure of the Seas. Love that ship. Jacksonville, you got Carnival Elation. Port Canaveral, MSC Divina. Port Everglades, the Zaandam gets underway. Over in Tampa, the Carnival Paradise. New Orleans, the Carnival Valor. San Francisco, the Carnival Miracle. Seattle, the New Amsterdam land and sea packages get underway. Up in Anchorage, they have land and sea packages starting as well for the New Amsterdam, and the same in Fairbanks. Also, there's some Grand Princess land and sea packages starting today from Fairbanks. So, little activities for the day. Headlines for today's show, and we'll get to all these things before it's over with. The NFL player has been named Godfather of Margaritaville at Sea. Princess adds an all-inclusive package. Cunard staffing problems. Norwegian Getaway's future changed again. And a story that I had actually yesterday was going to be my closing story for the day, and then I lost the signal and didn't get to finish the show. And I apologize for yesterday having no ending on the show, but it was beyond my control. But a passenger landed a plane after the pilot's collapse. And I got some details you may not have heard about that situation. That and lots more here at 11 o'clock today on Travel and Cruise Industry News. If you're listening by the podcast, welcome aboard. You can always access the podcast via my blog, which is accessadventure.net, or any of the places where you normally get podcasts from, like all the big guys, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Amazon Music, Spotify, TuneIn, iHeartRadio, all of it. You name it. Just search for Travel and Cruise Industry News, and I'll pop up. Or if you ever want to search for me, Chillie Falls, Chillie's Cruises, it's spelled the longest way possible, Chillie, and you can just put that in, and it's probably going to pop up as well. Last night, I attempted to do a live stream at the request of Pittsburgh Jason, and it was before I went to dinner. And so I did a live stream, I don't know, 15, 20-minute live stream. From my end of it, it looked like I was live. It looked like I was online. And the whole time I was doing it, there was nobody in the chat room. That should have tipped me off that there was something was amiss. But when I went back and checked it after dinner last night, actually it was later than that because that's a whole other story. But anyway, when I went back to check it, it was just a black wheel spinning. It never loaded. So I don't know what happened last night, whether, one of the explanations was it was just the system was overwhelmed. This is the first time the ship has been at capacity, and it might have just been the system being overwhelmed. I don't know. But anyway, my apologies for that, folks. Like I say, we're in Sitka today. Interesting fact about Sitka that I got from Nanook of the North John today. Yamaha owns a piece of Sitka. And if you own a Yamaha guitar, a Yamaha piano, or Yamaha organ, and it's got wood in it, some of the wood probably comes from this area. And there's a wooden pipe organ in Sitka that was made by Yamaha. Just a few little facts from the old fat travel guy today, thanks to Nanook of the North John. All right, recently, folks, I got called out. I got to tell you from one of my wordsmiths. I won't mention any names on which wordsmith it was, but he is an author that's just recently been on the show. When I did the stream on, I did the video on my cabin here on this ship on Quantum of the Seas. In the video, I made reference to this thing that was in the room. This thing that I'm getting ready to flash up on the screen. There it is. That thing. Okay. And that's the shape of it. And you can see it looks out of the room. Okay. I called that a window. And Jerry corrected me. He says, no, sorry to tell you this, but that's a porthole. You're on a boat. Now, my answer back was, okay, a porthole is round. One of the main uses for portholes when they were first developed was for cannons. Cannons are round. That's a window. So here's my question for today, folks. Put this in the answer. And before the end of the day, if I remember it, we'll talk about it again. Is that a window or is that a porthole? What would you consider it? And no, don't give me the answer that a window is a kind of porthole or a porthole is a kind of window. Window or porthole? Yay or nay? Tell me what you think. And I'll tell you what I found out and where I went to get it to find out about it. So, and anyway, thanks to Jerry for pointing it out. I've had terrific fun with it already. So anyway, give me your thoughts on that one, folks. All right. Before we get out onto the news, Hot Air Tom is in New Orleans. Oh, by the way, I was in Ketchikan yesterday. It was cold. As you can tell, I'm bundled up in a winter jacket. The hood was up several times yesterday. It ended up getting zipped up to the neck. I did stop and find an adult beverage, a local adult beverage, in a Ketchikan watering hole. And then I went to the lumberjack show because it was an accessible excursion. I'm going to get a video up hopefully today because if you don't have an excursion booked in Sitka, I understand transportation into the town's a real pain in the butt. So I may stay on the ship today and work as opposed to even attempting to go into Sitka, even though it's such a pretty day out. Maybe I'll go upstairs and get out and enjoy the air some, but we'll see. I might change my mind too. Anyway, Hot Air Tom, he's down there in New Orleans, city of New Orleans, and he went out on a boat in New Orleans, a paddle wheeler out on the Mississippi. As a matter of fact, that's what it looks like. Or I don't know if that's the same one or if that's one. I'm not sure. But anyway, Hot Air Time was out on a paddle boat. City in New Orleans, the bridge. Of course, I've been under that bridge. I've been under that bridge. I've been across that bridge several times. He said that they didn't actually have a buffet, but it was similar setup to a buffet, but the staff fixed the food for you and brought it to your, I guess they brought it to you at the table, whatever. They said the food was really good. But anyway, so Hot Air Time's down in New Orleans. Currently, I don't sail out of New Orleans. I don't have anything booked the rest of this year from New Orleans. I'm booked out of New Orleans in January of 2023 for the Vloggers Cruise on the Breakaway. However, I'm looking for bargains now and to fill in my schedule. Although I am looking at one more Royal Caribbean ship sailing, but that's actually in January next year. But I'm going to go talk about that today and see what kind of deal I can get here on board. But looking at the my mind went blank on the ship. Oh, Odyssey of the Seas out of Port Canaveral, I believe it is. But they have on Odyssey a solo balcony cabin, which that's a new wrinkle. I have not seen that before. So I'm probably going to look into that at least. It's reasonably priced, but we'll see on how that goes. It's also goes to Aruba and Curacao, which I haven't been to Aruba and Curacao in a long time. So I may look into booking that in January before the Vloggers Cruise. But again, we'll see. All right. I'll be back with today's news after this from one of our network sponsors. All right, in today's news, in collaboration between Chillie's Cruises and Cruises for Solos and Shelby at travelfun.biz. Don't forget about the group cruise on the Encore. All right, getting to the news. Had to stick the commercial break in there, folks. Margaritaville at Sea has announced that NFL player Shaquem Griffin will be the godfather of its flagship vessel, Margaritaville at Sea Paradise. Griffin will participate in the traditional christening ceremony on board today, ahead of the line launching its first guest sailing on May the 14th from the port of Palm Beach. His football career includes Defensive Player of the Year honors and an undefeated season his senior year at the University of Central Florida. Shaquem has also won the NFL Game Changer Award and the NCAA Inspiration Award and has an extensive background in community service. Born with amniotic band syndrome and having his left hand amputated when he was 4, Griffin has been an advocate for the physically challenged community. Shaquem, along with his brother and former NFL teammate Shaquille, started with the St. Petersburg Nitro Track Club, a 501c3 entity they're both involved with to this day. Margaritaville at Sea Paradise will begin her year-round schedule of 2-night cruises between the port of Palm Beach and Freeport, Bahamas on May the 14th. Those looking to extend their trip can book the line's cruise and stay package, which bundles a round-trip cruise with up to 4 nights at a beachfront resort in Grand Bahamas Island. I'm booked on the Margaritaville at Sea, But I just did the 2 nights. I did not stay in the Bahamas because I'm fitting it in between 2 cruises actually out of Tampa. I'm going to do a cruise out of Tampa, run over and do the Margaritaville at sea, get off that one, run back to Tampa to do the Carnival Paradise with lovely Cindy. So that's coming up later on this year. Princess Cruises has announced the Princess Premier, an all new, all inclusive package that can be added for just $75 per day starting May the 25th for cruises that depart on or after June 25th, 2022. The package offers savings of more than 50% if a guest were to purchase them separately. The $75 all-inclusive package includes the following: unlimited medallion net Wi-Fi, the best Wi-Fi at sea for up to 4 devices. New premier beverage package, top shelf spirits and cocktails up to $18 with bar service charge included. New selection of wine by the glass, 25% of bottles of wine, specialty coffee, smoothies, and bottled water. 2 specialty dining meals per person, included in popular restaurants like Crown Grill and Sabatini's Italian Trattoria. Digital downloads of all photos taken by professional staff on board, plus 3 prints of any size up to 8x10. Entry into the Princess Prizes onboard promotion, all for $75 a day. When I break that down, considering what I normally do on a ship, at first I thought, oh, $75 a day, that's just like Royal Caribbean's drink package. It's too much money. But with the Wi-Fi thrown in, because I pay usually for Wi-Fi for a week, I think it's probably $250, something like that. I don't know. I never pay attention because whatever it is, I have to pay it. But let's say if it's $250 for a week on a ship, that's what's that, $35 a day, something like that, or somewhere in that vicinity. So then you're down to $40 a day with the drink packages and a couple specialty meals thrown in. That's that's not a bad deal if they keep it at $75. Now, that's one that I would definitely have to consider. I'm a tightwad. Some of the guests booked on Cunard sailings have had their cruises unexpectedly canceled. Cruise line is citing crew shortages for the disruption, as guest capacity will need to be limited in order to deliver the signature impeccable service. A number of sailings on both Queen Victoria and Queen Mary, too, are being affected. Ongoing travel difficulties across international borders are making it challenging for Cunard Line to fully staff the vessels, which often have some of the best guest-to-crew ratios for larger ships in the cruise industry. The difficulties are related to COVID travel restrictions, which often include testing requirements, quarantine periods, and other health and safety protocols that can make it difficult for crew members traveling through multiple countries to join a ship. Necessary visas and other international documentation can also make travel challenging at the moment, especially for crew members. Thus far, the impacted sailings are reported to be during June and July of this year, but some sailings in August may also be affected. With tensions still unresolved in Eastern Europe, quite frankly, no end in sight, Norwegian Cruise Line has opted to extend cancellation of the Baltic sailings in Russian ports of call through 2023. This impacts sailings aboard the Norwegian Getaway, which may be remaining in the Caribbean instead. Guests booked aboard Norwegian Getaway with sailings from April 15th of 2023 through October 26th of 2023 have been notified that their cruises have been canceled. These cruises are scheduled as Northern Europe and Baltic sailings departing from Copenhagen. While Norwegian Cruise Line opted to keep Norwegian Getaway's Northern Europe sailings intact through mid-June of this year, the St. Petersburg port was removed. The ship is moving to Port Canaveral this summer to offer Caribbean sailings. The new summer cruises are 7-night sailings visiting Eastern Caribbean ports, including St. Thomas, San Juan, Puerto Plata, that's in the Dominican Republic, and Norwegian Cruise Line's private destination island, Great Stirrup Key. In August and September, the ship will offer limited Bermuda sailings from New York before returning to Port Canaveral for several weeks, then back to New York for mid-December through April 2023. With these further Baltic changes, it's likely that Norwegian Getaway will remain in the Caribbean for even longer period. At the moment, no information is available for summer of 2023 sailings for the Breakaway class vessel, but new sailings are likely to be ready for bookings in the next couple weeks. All right, this was a pretty cool story yesterday. As I mentioned in the opening, I actually had this story to be my closing story the day before and lost the signal and never got to finish the show because it never came back until I literally was timed out of the computer. Passenger with apparently no flying experience managed to land a small plane in Florida. This actually happened Tuesday afternoon after the pilot became incoherent following a medical emergency. The single-engine Cessna 208 landed successfully at Palm Beach International Airport around 12:30 p.m., according to NBC affiliate WPTV of West Palm Beach. The flight had departed from Marsh Harbor, Bahamas, about an hour and a half before the miracle landing, according to FlightAware data. In an audio from a call made to aircraft traffic control at Fort Pierce Tower, the unidentified passenger can be heard warning, "I've got a serious situation here. My pilot has gone incoherent. I have no idea how to fly this plane." The controller said, "Roger, what's your position?" The answer was, "I have no idea. I can see the coast of Florida in front of me. I have no idea." The dispatcher can be heard telling the passengers to maintain wings level and just try to follow the coast, either north or southbound, as crews try to locate the plane. Ultimately, the controller was able to walk the passenger through the steps to land the plane. Now, there's a couple of facts about this, folks, that I've found out that may or may not have been in the story that you heard. Number one, the passenger had absolutely no experience in flying a plane, however, has been around planes for some time and has flown numerous times on planes. They had been on a fishing trip in the Bahamas. He was in one of the back seats and had to crawl over a seat to get to the where the pilot had slumped over the controls. Get the pilot out of the way, and the plane is in a dive toward the ocean. Then grab for a headset to only find out that it's not connected, it's unplugged. Get all that done and plugged in and figure out how to get it turned on to get somebody to help him and do it before the plane crashed. All right. Then, just to even to make it better, you know how the guy was dressed? Shorts, t-shirt, and flip-flops. And I think that's hysterical. Then, as the plane is coming down, the traffic controller, who was also a instructor that's talking this guy in, as they're making their approach to West Palm Beach, it's about, maybe a minute out of the airport. It goes off the radar. And the traffic controller is trying to get the guy back on the radio and is getting nothing back from the plane. And he doesn't know if the damn thing's crashed or what. And he's about to die. What happened? I don't know how many seconds it was that he had no contact at all with this kid on the plane. And all of a sudden, very calmly, he hears, "Okay, I'm on the ground. What do I do next?" And I think, wow, what a story. But anyway, that happens Tuesday. The pilot was taken to the hospital. There's not been any information on him, on what happened, other than, it wasn't a fatality. But man, what a hero. Not only the kid was, a kid, he's a young man that jumped into the seat and flew the plane in, but to the guy that talked him to the ground. Just a really neat story. All right, that's it for the news today, folks. Let's hop over in the chat room, see if anybody's fussing with me today. And then I got to decide if I'm going to go any place or not go any place. Or I'm so far behind on work, folks. I may just, because I know that Sitka is not the best place in the world unless you have an excursion. So you got some priority. That it's a tough place to get transportation into town, and I'm not even sure how accessible any transportation into town would be. So I might just stay on board today, since this isn't one of the major stops normally in Alaska, but we'll see. So, all right, let's go over. I know Kenneth was with us this morning up in Pennsylvania. Said it's 80 degrees there here, and I'd like to have some of that 80 down here. It was cold yesterday. You guys saw I had my winter coat on and the hood up. Of course, it was also windy and rainy. And right on the water, it just made everything for being a cold day. Cindy's with us. Hi, Cindy. Gretchen's here. Amy's with us. What? No t-shirt and shorts on me? Hell no. I do have some shorts in my suitcase, and I do have a bathing suit also. I got a feeling that's not going to happen at all this time. I don't have enough long sleeves, I'll tell you that. I probably am going to do some laundry because, it was kind of cool coming across on the train too. So, this has not been any warm weather on this so far. Although it does look nice out there today, but I haven't been outside yet. Cindy and Hot Air Tom, they're with us today. That's cool. Thank you for the pictures, Hot Air. That was terrific. Just changed rooms to the room for the next 4 nights. This is a signature room and quite nice. King size bed will be appreciated. Very good. How about a Yamaha motorcycle? That's a different company, I believe. I don't know about that. I don't know if Yamaha motorcycles. I'm pretty sure that's a different company than the music folks. Maybe John will pop in with an answer to that one. Carol's here. The hood, yes, I had a hood on the jacket yesterday. I got a hood on the sweatshirt. I have not used the hood this morning. And in the room, I went to the room last night after dinner. Now it stays light here really late. I mean, I think sundown was like 9 o'clock. But remember, it's 4 hour time difference. So the 9 o'clock here, that's 1 o'clock in the morning into my brain, which is way past my bedtime. But anyway, after dinner last night, I went up to the room and I was kind of tired from the day. I had a pretty busy day yesterday. But I went up to the room and I'm having some feet swelling that I tend to have on cruises this year. So I wanted to prop my feet up a little bit. So I just stretched out on my couch there looking out my window or porthole. You guys have to give me an answer to that, folks. Is that a window or a porthole? But anyway, I was looking out that thing in my room and just watching the water go by and the scenery. And it's, you know, what a lovely sail it is up from Ketchikan to Sitka along the coast. It's just gorgeous. So I enjoyed that. So I actually laid on the couch for quite a while. Hot air time and Cindy both say window. Okay. Sharon says window. Carol says window. Amy says, I think it's a window. The cruise line is giving you a room with a porthole. It usually says porthole in the description. The NCL Pearl cruise September 24th got canceled due to itinerary changes, but NCL gave me a 25% future cruise credit. I rebooked for the Bliss from LA March 24th and got an additional 25% off. Very happy. Love NCL. Good deal, Cindy. I agree with Amy. I would say window too. Emily's with us. Hello, Chillie and gang, Emily says. Sharon says, very cool, Tom. Are you taking an NCL cruise soon? That paddle wheel boat was another one a bit smaller. Okay. A Carnival ship came into port. Have this morning on his tracker. Yeah. Don't worry, folks. I'm not going to run off and leave you without the answer to the question of the day. Sharon, next cruise is on the Pearl, January 24th, doing back-to-backs from Bermuda to Boston. Cindy says, Chillie, check on Royal Caribbean Allure, November 13th. Great prices. I love Oasis class ships. I want to get to Diamond. I'd like to get to Diamond Plus eventually, but I should be Diamond. I think I'm Diamond with what I've got booked now, especially if I booked Odyssey. But I'll also look at Allure as well, Cindy. Take a look at that too. Alaska bound on Royal Princess, May the 28th. Back-to-back Vancouver to Whittier. Amy says, I hope that you're going to do the Margaritaville at sea cruise when you're in Florida. Yeah, I am. I'm doing that in between two cruises out of Tampa. What is the mask situation there in Alaska? Do you have to take a COVID test? Well, you have to take a COVID test before you get on any cruise ship. So one of the things they require you to do is provide documentation. Then Canada has all kinds of regulations, and you have to not only do a thing online, which is required of everybody just to pass by the Canadian waters. Then to go get off the ship, you have to fill out paperwork. But the masking situation is totally optional. On the ship, it's probably no more than 5% are masked. The crew is still has to wear masks. But at land, at least outside, there are no requirements. There were no requirements in catch can inside. Although, some people still wear masks, but not many. Not many at all. There have been no changes recently because of the latest uptick in cases. And again, I've talked to a couple of people about that on board because I kept mine on my neck for a day. I don't even have mine on today and didn't in catch can yesterday. Again, I'm very comfortable on a cruise ship, totally comfortable with not having the mask on because I know everybody, or at least, 95% or better are people that are vaccinated and boosted. So that doesn't bother me at all anymore. I do get a little antsy if I'm in tight quarters, like on an elevator, and I think too many people are packing in. I still get a little worried about that. I'm very attuned to people around me, especially, and I hate to profile this, but little kids that I know probably aren't vaccinated, especially if they're coughing and sniffles and that kind of thing. Yeah, I'm going to back off in a hurry. But there are no requirements for masks. And I think probably that's pretty much going to be anywhere you go. Carnival Paradise 11.5. Yep, that's one of my cruises out of Tampa. You'll get to meet hubby Nick and our friends Jan and Jean are coming along. Great time. Oh, that's wonderful, Cindy. There's Jason. I tried last night, Jason. I really did. I thought I was live. Something happened. I wouldn't consider a person that cruises every week a tightwad. No, well, yeah, I don't either, but excuse me. The point is that I don't lavishly spend money normally. And in the past, I've been very frugal and I'm trying to get better at it. But that's just like I very rarely ever did excursions. Not because I don't want to go places and do things. I've probably already done them. But then now that I'm, mobility challenged, there just aren't many accessible excursions available. I can't go on an excursion and walk to get off the ship. That's dead. Then once I'm off the ship, which I got to have the scooter, I can't leave the scooter. That's illegal. That can get me not only in trouble for leaving a scooter, it can get me in trouble with Scooter Round, and I don't want to take a chance on ever losing that relationship. So part of the contract is that I stay on the scooter. That's just like people that leave scooters out in the hallway. Technically, they're running a risk. So if they rent a scooter, they should have the wider doors. They should have an accessible cabin so they can go in the cabin to be charged. These guys that leave it overnight in the hallway, man, that's risky, very risky. The one time that I had a scooter and didn't have a wide door that the scooter would go through, my cabin steward, when I came back to the room at night, he would take the scooter downstairs in crew quarters and charge it for me and have it back in my room at 6 o'clock, outside the room at 6 o'clock the next morning because he knew I got up and out early. Needless to say, that room steward got a hell of a tip. Sharon says, I'm watching you on free Princess Wi-Fi. NCL makes people upgrade to their Wi-Fi to get unlimited streaming. And it's about $140 for the week. Yeah. Princess is pricey, but they don't nickel and dime you. People seem happier. I understand that. Tom, please keep me posted on the Pearl. I was booked for the Star of the Summer, but canceled doing a land trip to Iceland instead. Ooh, that's nice. I'm part of the Pfizer study and being monitored as fully vaxxed, unboosted. I can travel to Iceland, but don't qualify to cruise on NCL. What's odd is Princess makes people sailing from. There's Mr. Bucket List. Justin, good morning, my friend. I agree, Chillie right now it looks beautiful outside. I can't wait to get off the ship. To Justin yet to see how he did on his excursions yesterday. He's got excursions booked at all the ports. So I'm looking forward to talking to him when we get together. We'll get together again here sometime quickly, I'm sure. Hot Air says to Sharon that Star is his favorite ship. Pearl would be very similar. Basically, NCL added another deck to allow for adding a haven, spinnaker lounge, and great outdoors. We have a deck tent penthouse. Same cabin for both cruises with a large balcony. Very nice. Michael Gale's with us. Good morning, Michael. Thank you for being here. Princess Plus for $40 per day, but increasing to $50 per day. That includes Wi-Fi for one device, drink package, 15 drinks up to $12 per drink per day, and gratuities. Hot Air says, I'm thinking the Jetsons. Bonnie pops in. Hi, Bonnie. Good to see you today, too. All right. So answer the question, folks. Again, the question is, was that a window or a porthole? Now, let me flash it up again in case you just popped in and you don't know what the hell we're talking about. That is in my cabin. I look out at it at the water. Now, I'm on deck 3. I'm down low in this ship, which is okay because I got a wonderful view. I just have to watch going into port that I'm not running around the room naked, or they might see the little, never mind. But if the question was, is that a window or a porthole? My friend, my author friend that I interviewed last week, Jerry, Ivan Cox is his nom de plume, or whatever you call that, writers' names. He challenged me because I called it a window, and he said, "So sorry, it's a porthole." So that started me on, checking. All of you guys said, not a soul said porthole. Everybody said windows, which makes me feel good because at least that's what I thought. That, folks, is a porthole. I first went to a crew member on the ship, and I showed him a picture of that, and I said, "Tell me what this is." He said, "Well, that's a porthole." I said, "Why is that not a window?" He said, "Because it doesn't open." So what's that got to do with it? It's got to do with the shape. He said, "No. If it opened, that would be a window. It doesn't open. It's a porthole. So I looked it up in Wikipedia. Portholes are usually round. So I decided I'm going to go to the top. So I went up to the captain. Happened to see the captain at the loyalty gathering. I had a picture. I said, Captain, what is this? He looked at me rather funny. I said, is that a window or is that a porthole? He said, that's a porthole. And I said, why? And he says, because it doesn't open. I said, okay. So that's it, folks. From everybody that should know that I've talked to, it's a porthole. And I was wrong, and Jerry was right, and everybody on the show and my audience that said window, sorry, folks, you're wrong too, just like I was. Anyway, I've had fun with that. So I look out my square porthole, keep hoping to see a whale, but that's it for today, folks. All right, in Sitka today, tomorrow we see tomorrow. I can't remember what the schedule is. One day we're in Endicott Glacier, and one day we're in Juneau, and I can't remember which one's which. No, I think Juneau's the day after tomorrow. I think tomorrow might be a sailing day. But anyway, whatever the case may be, I'll still be doing the show. Same time, same place, tomorrow morning. If you're new to the channel, always appreciate the thumbs up, folks. That's helped the channel a lot. And please consider subscribing. Doesn't cost anything. Helps the channel out. And as always, we'll be here every day doing travel and cruise industry news at 11 a.m. Eastern Daylight Time, of course, which is 10 a.m. Central Daylight Time, 9 a.m. Mountain Time, 8 a.m. Pacific, whatever 4 p.m. over there in Greenwich Mean Time for all you guys on the other side of the pond. But anyway, I'll be back tomorrow morning. As always, guys, stay safe, stay healthy. Think about cruising, and hopefully one day soon we'll all meet on the high seas. Have a fabulous day. This is the old fat travel guy. See you tomorrow.
I regularly post videos on all facets of the travel and cruise industry. So if you like to keep up with the latest in cruise ships, ports of call, cruises themselves, Chillie chats, and travel and cruise industry news, just hit the little subscribe button in the lower right-hand corner. Hit the bell notification so you'll be notified when a new video is up or we go live. This video was produced by Chillie's Cruises.